Gentlemen,
It's cold in the podcast studio.
it's a little cold in my podcast studio, to be frank.
Well, we're all in sweatshirts and hoodies and fucking winter hats already, baby.
I mean, it was cold here, and I just got home, and I'm downstairs, and it's a little chilly down here. So, yeah, I'm still rocking the long johns, hat, wool. Ray, I'm surprised you're wearing an extra layer.
Yeah. I don't know how this is going to fare, but we'll see what happens.
Is that a Barstool hoodie? Is that the gray Barstool hoodie?
Maybe.
It's wicked light. I wear that thing all the time. I love it.
Thanks, Bill.
Cool, Bill.
Thanks, Bill. Appreciate it, Bill.
You're welcome.
What are you wearing? It's only money?
Mm-hmm.
That's what they hand out to the losers at your bookie?
Yeah. I don't have. Well, I don't anymore.
Like, did you bring your duffel bag full of money you lost? Here's a free sweatshirt.
Bill never paid in cash. He was always coins.
Blood money.
Yeah. Blood money.
Untraceable.
Tinder whore blood money.
Mm-hmm.
The underage kind.
They're downstairs.
Never.
Huh?
Never.
Never.
You know, there's a trend going on in the accusations that we throw your way and the ones that you shrug off and the one that you deny, very vivid, seriously. And STDs is number one, which we know you've had. So
Never had an STD in my whole entire life.
See,
I had one scare one time, got tested, and I was good. Never once.
Billy Badwing, you on vacation starting tonight?
Oh, yeah.
All right. How you feeling?
Yes.
Cheers.
Oh, excuse me. Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers, Bill.
Gentlemen, we have a lot to get to. Welcome to the Simple Mind Sports Show, Friday headlines. This is November 20th, and Danny Ainge is a cunt. Welcome to the show.
Here.
Gordon Hayward, as we stand now and record this on Thursday night at 7:37, has opted out of his $34 million player option with the Boston Celtics after pushing it back 2 days for Trader Danny to make some moves and push him to a place that he wants to go or do whatever that was, said was going to happen and never end up fucking happens because that's our life as a Celtics fan right now. That's our life as a Celtics fan right now. Let me lay out the scenario with Gordon Hayward. Then we'll get to the draft. Then we'll get to Danny Ainge. Then we'll get to free agency. Then we'll get to looking forward with this team as constructed. Okay. And then we'll get into the Patriots because they got a game on Sunday too. A lot of stuff to get into. Let's be quick. Billy rambles. Gordon Hayward opts out. The Celtics still have a chance to sign him and trade him because they have his bird rights. They can still do that. I expect them to do that. We'll get to that. The team that is now popping up, the latest team that's popped up to sign him are the New York Knickerbockers. Actually did a little work on this today, boys. The only three teams in the league that outright have the space to sign Gordon Hayward right now are the New York Knicks, the Atlanta Hawks, and the Detroit Pistons. If everything that we've heard is true, that Gordon Hayward wants to go to a winning team, I get the Hawks are trending upwards, but none of those teams are winning, especially the goddamn Knicks. So if Gordon Hayward just
Lakers
leaves,
get him?
not if they sign AD.
No, but they can as long as they sign AD second. So you can, if you have the cap space, you can sign Hayward first, get the space, and then bring AD back because you have his bird rights and go over the cap. That's why these guys are opting out. So then you have the cap space because they can afford a max guy now. So you sign AD second. It was the same thing with LaMarcus Aldridge.
I've heard no reports on the Lakers though, Bill. I know that the Lakers have.
No, I'm just asking. That's why I'm just asking. I know there's no reports.
I'm just going off of the NBA salary cap and what was expected, and the reports are Atlanta's big on Hayward. The Knicks are big on Hayward. I've heard nothing from Detroit, but they have the room to do it. And we know that Indiana is big on Hayward. Those are the teams. And
Cleveland's kind of a
we've been
rumor now,
told that there's a market for Hayward. We've also been told that Hayward wants to go to a team that is going to win. We've also been told that his wife wants to get the fuck out of Boston. So all these things are still pointing to Gordon Hayward not being here. But what we said at the beginning of this is if he walks and Danny Ainge gets nothing for that asset, mitigated disaster. And that's what you're looking at right now. So I ask you, let me start with you, Ray, before Billy Rambos runs into his soliloquy. I know that you're the biggest Gordon Glass hater on the panel here. Go ahead, give us your Monet toot on your shitting
Monet,
on Mr. Gordon Hayward.
What a cunt! I mean, you're calling Danny a cunt. He's a cunt. You just walked away from $34 million and screwed this team over. I mean, financially, we're gonna be screwed if we don't do the bird right sign and trade. This team will be screwed for the next 10 years. You'll never get a free agent here coming here because this is the third free agent that we signed that now has walked for nothing. So something's going on in the organization that none of these guys want to stay. And
I have thoughts on that. Go ahead.
Secondly, money-wise, I mean, we won't be able to sign anyone. So what are you going to do? You just really handcuff the whole Boston Celtics.
Before you go, Bill, let me touch on those things a couple of times because I'm 50-50 on this. The money thing is the biggest thing because if Gordon Hayward walks, you don't get that money. You're already over the cap. You're kind of screwed there. Sign and trade has to happen. We've been saying that. It still can happen, so let's not bury Danny yet. But he hasn't done anything we want him to do this offseason in the past 2 or 3 offseasons, so it's not trending in the right direction. As far as the free agents, Ray, I've been saying that. I've been right along with you saying that if he leaves, that's your third big free agents to leave in the last 3 years. However, if you take it on a case-by-case basis, Kyrie Irving was traded to Boston, and we all know that in terms of walking cunts on the planet, he's up there with dictators of third countries in my mind. Horford left to the Philadelphia 76ers for a $100 million deal that nobody in the NBA was giving him. It's the only time he was going to be able to offer that money in his entire career, and he took it. He took the money and run.
He had to.
I would imagine that's a hard contract to walk away from, and the Celtics, to your point, Ray, didn't do a good enough job communicating with Horford, telling him that they were going to get Kemba and yada, yada, yada. Those are the reports. I still say Danny fucked up on that. He should have been in more control. And now if it's Gordon Hayward, you're looking at a guy that signed a max deal, spent 3 years basically injured, watched 2 players in the Jays essentially take his spot and excel above him, and he wants out. And he's not opting out without some kind of offer down the line. He has something in his back pocket, either whether it's with the Celtics in a trade to a good team or signing with the Knicks for the most money possible, which would be terrible on both sides, both Hayward and Danny. So with that said, Bill, what's your Gordon Hayward thoughts?
I actually don't think he's going to go anywhere. I wouldn't be surprised if he re-ups with the Celtics. I don't think he hates it here as much as we all think he is. And I think Danny's might push to keep him if there's not a decent trade out there. So, I mean, you're kind of hearing the Indy one, Miles Turner. Now you heard Doug McDermott thrown in that. I would kind of love that trade because that adds some size to the front court, and you can play McDermott as a small forward and power forward. So, I mean, he's a decent shooter off your bench there.
I love McDermott. He's the new Kyle Korver.
Yeah. So, I mean, if that's a move that you can make, I'd say jump all over it. But I don't know if Danny's high on Miles Turner. But I don't blame Gordon for chasing more money. Like you said, he's 30 years old. He's been injury prone the last 3 years. So if a winning team can throw some kind of money at him, even in a sign and trade for the $100 million that Al Horford just got, I don't blame him for leaving. The problem.
What if he goes to the Knicks, Bill? What if he goes to the Knicks
then I'll lose a shit ton of respect for Gordon Hayward.
27 for 4 or 5 years.
That's just an easy way out at this point. I mean, I wouldn't fault him if he's going to Indiana because he lives in Indiana. He's from Indiana. I won't fault that, even though it's going to be a rebuilding team. But
they can't sign him. This is my point. This is why I don't know if he's back with the Celtics, but I know the opt-out, opt-in, you would expect to see hand-in-hand an extension and then hand-in-hand a trade or a statement saying Gordon Hayward is a Boston Celtic and he'll be a Boston Celtic for the future. That's what is so infuriating about this offseason and off seasons in the past that we're dealing with, Danny. This is why we're at this fever pitch as Celtics fans, that we are continually to wait wait for Danny to drop this hammer, and the best we've got is trading the fucking French tickler for a couple second rounds to Oklahoma City this year. So that's the problem, is it's all being pushed forward, but I cannot see Gordon Hayward signing outright with one of these bottom-end teams. He's going to get fucking skewered. And if he gets skewered, Danny Ainge deserves to and will get skewered as well, because you got to read the tea leaves, buddy. You got to get out ahead of this. And this is my main point on Danny Ainge. Kyrie Irving, that fucking bitch, neutered Danny Ainge. The way that Danny Ainge went out and got Kyrie Irving, and the way that Kyrie Irving destroyed his locker room from the inside out and giving up a lottery pick to get him, neutered Danny Ainge. Yep. Didn't make a trade at the deadline this year. Didn't make any big offseason moves. Is now afraid to be pushing draft picks when he was once traded Danny. Now he's hoarded Danny. Kyrie Irving neutered Danny Ainge. And that sucks.
I won't disagree with that. That's a true statement right there.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I mean,
yeah.
He hasn't made a trade since, really, besides the French tickler. Not one. Like, it was a shame.
Those didn't even count, Bill. That's that's like you've been neutered, and now you're trying to get your dick up again, but you're so afraid of what's going to happen. You have to like just put the tip, just a little bit. Ray knows what we're talking about.
Off. The biggest thing with this just pisses me off. Like, I'm so sick of him coming out later. Yeah, we offered this, and I couldn't tell you the team, and we were in on this, and blah blah blah. We just couldn't get this. I'm so fucking sick and tired of hearing the excuses from him. After you're hearing every single fucking rumor that's coming out related directly to Celtics trades, so like it pisses me off. I'm so sick and tired of hearing that shit. I would rather them shut the fuck up, like the Patriots. You don't hear shit from them. Just shut the fuck up. I'm so sick of it.
So let me do this. Let me give you the. Well, first, let me ask you this, Ray. Do you think that that's Danny leaking that to his guys in the press for buzz? Because the Boston Bruins were made famous for this in years past in the media, flirting with the media,
DuPont,
letting the media do their work for them, say, they're in on this, and then, it was too much. It was too much. So the fans would say, at least they tried. Mm-hmm. And do you believe that is Danny Ainge? Because that's been Danny Ainge ever since Kyrie Irving took his balls, essentially, and a little bit before, honestly, but especially ever since the Kyrie trade.
I totally agree. He's leaking this stuff to the media because it saves face. Oh, look I tried to go out and get James Harden, but, offer was too steep. I tried to go get Miles Turner. Offer's too steep. Oh, I tried to do this. That's all it is he's trying to say, hey, look guys, I'm trying to make this team better. It's just the deal on the other end's too steep. So I think he's just trying to save face.
Did you see the new rumor today about James Harden in the Celtics?
Yeah. Brown and smart.
No. It's even better than that. I guess some high-level NBA guys told him to stay the fuck away from James Harden.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. Multiple NBA guys warned the Celtics to stay the fuck away from James Harden.
Oh. I don't blame him.
Billy
Bomb. Billy Bomb. That's a great Billy Bomb. I heard the report is same as you, Ray. It was Brown, Smart, and picks. And you know what?
I would do that.
I would not do it. I know that you like Harden and he's a great player, but I wouldn't trade Jaylen Brown or Jason Tatum for anybody. I've been on this train. This is your future. Build around it. That's it. And the problem is, well, maybe it's not a problem. I don't know, but I think Danny Ainge throws Marcus Smart in that same boat, and that's what he's trying to build around. I just don't understand everything else around it. So let me give you the moves around the league. These mid-level moves that we wanted to see the Celtics be a part of. A couple of these wouldn't have worked, in my opinion, and here's why. I like the Covington move, the player Covington who went to the Blazers from the Rockets for Trevor Ariza, and the 30. 16? No. It was higher than that. It was higher than the 20-something pick. The Celtics could have got him with the 29th pick. It was high first round, but it was Trevor Ariza. Also, the one I like was Dennis Schroeder going to the Lakers, and that was the 26th pick, and Danny Green. The problem with these two guys in the Celtics is they both make upwards of $8 to $12 million, whatever. So if you're going to make that trade, Marcus Smart's the only trade chip you have to make the money work.
What about the Rubio trade?
I'm not there yet, Bill. Okay. So my point there is if you're going to go mid-level trade with the Celtics, you need to add on. I'm not replacing that with Marcus Smart. I don't think it makes you better. It's the same idea with Drew Holiday. I don't think it makes you better. I just think you're moving sideways in that. So I would have liked those players, but I can understand why that didn't happen. The Rubio trade and more importantly, the Shamet trade. Shamet's the guy they should have had. Shamet's the guy they could have had. He went for the 19th pick. He was a bench player off. He was a role player off the Clippers bench, knockdown shooter, over 40% from three, big time player, playoff experience. Makes only $2 million, $3.5 million next year. You got him for 2 years. He went for the 19th pick to the Nets. And Danny Ainge, I guarantee, didn't want to give up the 14th pick because he got Aaron fucking Naismith or whatever, who's the best shooter in the draft. That shit pisses me off. That's the shit that pisses me off. And I understand that's an isolated incident, but don't tell me Seth Curry, one of the best knockdown three-point shooters in the NBA, pretty much of all time at this point. He's locked that in. He's been in the league forever. He makes $8 million, so you would have had to get some of your bench pieces to get him. But he went for like the 36th fucking pick. So instead of a proven shooter off the bench, NBA veteran, you got the 14th pick in the draft, a rookie to now come in and back up your fourth-year and fifth-year player.
Well, don't forget the white point guard and Ray's long-lost cousin from Israel.
You were going to say that.
That you can stash over there for a year. So, I mean, you really made out in this awesome draft.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's recap that. With the 14th pick, they take Aaron Naismith from Vanderbilt, averaged 23 points a game last year in like 15 games where the fuck they played before COVID. And Pat Pritchard, is that his name? I don't even know what his first name is. I just thought Pat.
Pac-12 Player of the Year, though, so there's something.
Pat Pritchard, 4-year senior. He's got some Steve Blake in him. Look,
he can shoot, though. These guys can shoot at least.
Bill, Ray, if all else being equal,
right clause.
All else being equal, I like the picks. These seem like decent players. The problem is you've drafted 17 guys over 4 fucking years or whatever it is. 11
22.
of them.
22.
11 of them in the first round. Where are these guys supposed to play? What are they supposed to do with these guys?
Well, it sounds like Ojelay's gone. Brad Wanamaker's gone. So, I mean, Naismith is going to probably slide into that fucking Ojeley role.
I'm not doing this conversation, Bill. I'm not doing this. Let's see how these rookies could fit into our lineup again. Before the draft, Danny Ainge said, it's not our best interest to add 3 more rookies to our bench. And out of the 4 picks he had in that draft, he drafted 3 rookies, including Ray's long-lost cousin, Yum Yum Tum Tums. It was
the same thing last year, Rich, when you drafted Grant Williams and Romeo Langford in the first round, where it's like, where the fuck are these guys going to play? And now we're another year forward. Same thing. Where the fuck are these guys going to play? You sold that 29th, what was it, the 30 or 29th pick
30.
for 2 future second rounds. Like, you just punted on the last pick because you have no one else to sign. You just fucking qualified offer Taco Fall and Tremont Waters, both got qualifying offers there. So, hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
G League champion, main red clause.
Once
again, back to back. Danny's building a dynasty.
Put some respect on him.
Danny's building
G League
a fucking
MVP
dynasty.
Tremont Waters. Put some respect on his fucking name.
Dude.
6'0" Tremont Waters, G League MVP. I'm sorry, Ray. I didn't mean any offense to the height. I know.
Didn't he drop like 10 threes in one of these?
I'm sure he did. You got Yum, Taco, and Semi, all edible arrangements. And
what do you call Ray's cousin again?
Yum Tum Tum.
Yum Tum Tum? Is that his real name?
I don't know.
Like that.
His name's Yum. They have Yam.
Ooh.
His name's Yam. They have Yam, Taco, and Semi. All things that Ray's mom likes to eat.
Ray, call your grandmother back in the homeland and get the lowdown on this kid.
Oh, shalom.
Shalom. All right. What's next, Ray? Well, do you have any thoughts on the draft? Do you have any thoughts on? Okay, let me put it to you this way. Let me change my channel and get off shitting on Danny Ainge, and let's take his word for it. Let's give him another fucking grain of salt. If the deals were not there to be made, I'll give him the Drew Holiday. I wouldn't have made that deal for Drew Holiday, and that's blowing up in the Bucks' face because they butchered the Bogdanovich fucking deal. So that's going to blow up in their face. So sure, yeah, I get it. Like the risk is high with Danny Ainge. He's been neutered by Kyrie Irving. If these deals were not to be made, if you look at this team now as currently rostered, and let's throw in the idea that they will get a big man some way, somehow. Whether that's through Gordon Hayward, whether that's through free agency, they will bolster their front court at a mid-level Aaron Baines type of or lesser type of guy, Harry Giles, someone like that. Is this team a championship contender?
No.
Raymond, let me hear you.
Nope.
Why not?
Because you got Brooklyn, who's far superior than you are. You got Miami, who made strides last year and went to the NBA Finals. You got Milwaukee, who's playing for their last leg to sign Giannis to a long-term extension, so they're going to be going all in. Philadelphia, I mean, if they get James Harden in this trade, because they're all in the talks of getting James Harden, you're not going to get by them. I mean, you're probably the fifth best team in the East right now.
Question. Can you sell Gordon Hayward on Sacramento?
I don't know.
Throw
out whatever you're thinking.
There's no beaches in Sacramento.
Who do you want from Sacramento?
Brogdon. Get him.
Yeah,
Him. He's out there. I mean, he's restricted.
Yeah.
So I mean, if you could try to sell fucking,
they don't want him. I think they wanted young guys. They had.
I know, but I'm just saying
they had a trio of really good young guys from Milwaukee. So let me answer my own question: are the Celtics, as constituted, a championship team? Kemba Walker at point guard, Jaylen Brown at shooting guard. Somebody. Let's say Jason. I don't know. Jason Tatum's in the starting lineup, and then your starting center is going to have to be. Is going to have to be a free agent. It's going to have to be a free agent. Here's what I'll say. If they don't include their front court, then they're the fifth, sixth team in the East. If they improve their front court appropriately, then they're probably third or second.
So, and don't forget,
I don't have a ton of faith in Milwaukee. Mm-hmm. I don't have a ton of faith in Milwaukee. I think that they are a desperate team on their last leg, and now they're fighting hard. And you're going to have to hope that Giannis improves his shot and really becomes even better than he was, because as a playoff performer, he's not it, and they don't have one on that team. The Heat, I know the Heat made the move, but I think the Heat were a bubble team, and if they don't do something to improve their team with free agency, they're limited. The Nets will have to, as far as talent-wise, they're going to be tough. And
they're going to give up a lot, though, to get him, if they get him.
They're not going to get hard. I'm actually convinced they're not getting hard at this point. I think they're more scary without him, because those young kids, LeVert, Dinwiddie, and those guys, they're more scary to me than Kyrie and Durant, because they can compete and the other two can just coast, and that's more scary to me. But I think you're better than Toronto. I think you have a chance to be better than Milwaukee. I still don't have faith in the 76ers. At least 1 year with Doc, they're going to need at least 1 year to get back to something and make their rosters better. Miami, I don't have a ton of faith in. So you're still the second or third team in the East, but you have to do something with your front court. And if you're going to rely on rookies to be your shooters off the bench, good fucking luck. So you still have moves to make, Danny, and if you don't make them, then you quickly drop on that list for me. You quickly drop on that list, and if you lose Gordon Hayward for nothing, this offseason is a fail. Your rebuild is a fail, and you better hope Tatum can carry a team like LeBron James and Kevin Durant, or you're done. You're fucked. Fire Danny.
Question. Do you think you could sell Gordon Hayward on Toronto? Sign and trade.
They're not going in division. So
sign my boy Max.
Max Van Fleet.
Bring him here. Come on, man. Sell him on. He wants to go for a winning team. You want to work on a sign and trade. Max Van Fleet wants to get paid. You just got money that's going to pay. I guarantee he's not a max guy. Still my boy. I mean, he'd be a fucking perfect piece for this. You want shooting coming off the bench? You could start him. You take Marcus Smart, you put him back on the bench. That's your starting two guard right there.
Where's JJ Redick at? Is he still signed?
He's on the Pelicans. Yeah.
He's on the Pelicans.
He ain't going to lead the Pelicans. He's a good leader on that team.
I have a question.
Anyway. Yeah, go ahead.
Real quick.
Go for Zion.
So with Massachusetts not allowing fans and stands, do you think that the owner, Which, is saying don't spend any more money because we're going to be losing a shit ton of money from the ticket gates and all that stuff now?
I heard
because they're already in the luxury tax anyways, so it's dollar for dollar. So I mean, it's not. You're still at $90 million with him opting out right now. So you're still with all the Cantor opting in now. So you just
I'm saying
traded
for like free agency stuff, like for free agents. Like I get
you
it.
got money to spend now because you can sign veteran minimum contracts that the league pays for that doesn't go on into your salary cap.
I understand what you're saying, Ray. I heard the same thing. A rookie contract, taking 3 rookies in the draft is less expensive than going and making trades for veterans making Seth Curry making $8 million or
I would've loved him.
Shamit making, even though he's only making $2 million. So
Yeah.
the 14th pick is going to make more than $2 million. Fucking Naismith is going to make more than $2 million this year. You could have had Shamit. That's a legit NBA 40% 3-point shooter who's been in the playoffs, who's seen it, has done it. That could be a guy off your bench that doesn't make 30. He can be your Gordon Hayward. He can be everything we've asked Gordon Hayward to be. He went for the 19th pick to the Nets, and whatever garbage was included with it.
Are we moving on to the Patriots right now?
You think that could be a move?
No.
That's a move to probably get James Harden, I bet.
I mean, maybe.
Those are probably guys. Those are probably guys because if he wants to go to Brooklyn, though, I mean, all those guys you throw in him too. That's another young guy that Houston would want to build around.
So, look, to wrap up, hold on. Before we do, just a couple pointers on the NBA draft. Timberwolves select number 1 overall. I didn't even remember his name because
Anthony Edwards.
He hates basketball.
He wants to play football. He wants to be drafted in the NFL, and he goes number
Why
1.
the fuck would you?
With
the number 1 overall pick, why would you
Kwame
draft
Brown.
a guy that has come out and literally said, "I don't like
Ooh.
basketball"?
Is that foreshadowing in the Sunday Social, Bill?
He is the next Kwame
Oh.
Brown. Michael Okani.
Fucking
Come
producer
on.
Bill, nice
The
job.
more he drinks, the more he gives away. Wiseman going to the Warriors. Also, NBA news: your boy Clay, Bill,
Oh,
down
God,
with
I
the
love
Achilles,
him.
done for
My
the
favorite
year.
player in the league.
They
that
also
guy.
just
Next to
got.
Tatum.
They also just got formerly from your Suns, traded to Oklahoma City Thunder. Oh shit! Sorry,
Kelly Oubre.
Yeah. Kelly Oubre to fill that gap. So Warriors are clearly not going for a second-year tank. They're going to go for it. And remember, they still have
their playoff team. Just
they still have
Curry
Wiggins
back.
as
Yep.
bad, as badly as Wiggins is a potential draft bust.
Yeah, but see what he does with Steph now.
He's still a decent player in the league. He's not Klay Thompson, but with Oubre, Wiggins, and now Wiseman as a rookie there,
Good
Warriors
core.
could make
Good
noise.
little core. I mean, you got to think who Oklahoma City's out of the playoffs probably this year. San Antonio's a fringe team. So, I mean, Golden State should slide into where Oklahoma City did just with Curry back. And
Yeah, you got to worry about
with
Dallas.
Draymond.
You got to worry about Dallas. You got to worry about Phoenix. You got to worry about Denver. You got to
Yeah,
worry
my
about
team.
Utah.
Portland.
Western is
My
fucking.
team.
The Western Conference is still
Trailblazers.
stacked.
Yeah, but you just think, though, Oklahoma City's not going to make it now. So, I mean,
I don't know why you're talking about Oklahoma City. They have 30
because they were the 4th seed, so that's already
next 3
I know,
years.
but that's already one team that's not going to make the playoffs this year. So I still expect the Warriors to slide into the playoffs.
Okay. And then, so last second guess for Danny Ainge and the Celtics in terms of draft picks, we were hearing they were big on Onika Okanugo. Does anyone know how to pronounce that name?
Bless you.
He went 6th to the Hawks. They thought he was going 3rd. Celtics were trying to get up to the top 3 to draft him.
They wanted
he went
5th.
fucking
They were trying to get
6th.
5th too.
He went 6th. So you're telling me there was not a trade out there with the Hawks for Danny Ainge and Gordon Hayward in their 3 picks and whatever else they want to throw in there. You're telling me they couldn't get up to 6th to take a guy that they told us that they wanted? Get the fuck out of here. Come on.
And the sad thing was, too, in the middle of the draft, you reading on Twitter, I think Warge dropped a bomb saying Cleveland was shopping that pick up until the last second at number 5.
Yep.
So if you wanted to move up there, you package all 3 of those and make a move. So clearly it was all a bluff. He was not trying to get in the top 5. This is the Austin Rivers draft all over again when they tried to move into the top 10 to get Austin Rivers, Doc's kid. It's all bullshit.
He didn't want that guy. He didn't want that guy. He wanted a high-round pick that he could flip for James Harden.
He wanted a shooter because shooting is the way in the league now. Big guys are on the way out.
No, Bill, here's the thing. Here's the thing with Danny Ainge. He wants a home run.
Mm-hmm.
This is the only thing that he's looking for now. That's it. I think that definitively can be said after what we've seen him do over the past several offseasons. He wants a home run. The only trade that he made was Kyrie Irving. That's it. That's the only trade that he's made other than Vincent Poirier going to Oklahoma City now.
Kemba
That's it.
Trade, technically.
What?
The Kemba trade. I mean, technically that was a trade with.
No, it
Rozier.
wasn't. That was a
They
that was
signed
a free
it. It was a
agent.
sign and
It was
trade
a sign
with
and trade with
Rozier.
Terry Rozier, but they were both leaving. That was not a trade. The only trade that he has made with these assets,
it was
these
poorly.
assets that he's fucking gathered since 2013, and the Nets and the fleecing of the Nets has been Kyrie Irving, and that bit him in the ass.
Let's just
And
hope.
now he's
let's just have
neutered.
hope.
And he's not doing anything. So he was never going to sign that guy. He's looking for a home run. James Harden was his home run this year. And whether some league officials or league front office guys got in his ear and told him to stay the fuck away from Harden, good. Or he just didn't have the sack or the skill to make it happen. He's going for home runs, and he's striking out. He's the modern-day Major League Baseball. We hate the modern-day Major League Baseball. And so Finto, I hate Danny Ainge. Do something. Tomorrow when this drops, you can start signing free agents. If the Celtics are not one of the first fucking people to sign a free agent, they're failing. It's a fail. It's a
Tonight
fail.
at 6 o'clock. I like I said, I still expect something with Gordon Hayward. I would not be shocked if he's back here, and I would be happy to take him back for next year. Let's go.
Billy Bomb. Never not trust a Billy Bomb.
I expect Gordon Hayward to re-sign 3-4 year deal.
Right?
Can I give you a
Didn't you have some kind of
great job, producer Bill. Yes.
Oh, here we go.
So here's my conspiracy theory.
Okay.
So he got hurt in the bubble. He left.
Back up.
He left because he hurt his thumb, right? Or hurt his ankles, excuse me. But then his wife was pregnant at the time. Went into delivery. I bet you Danny Ainge said, "Hey man, you already left the bubble. You got hurt. You got to stay. You got to finish this out. We're in the playoff run. You can't go for the birth of your child. I'm sorry. We'll do everything we can, but you can't." So maybe he's spiteful and it fucking Robin yelled at him. Robin yelled at him and he was very upset, and that's why he wants out of Boston and is trying to fuck them over by opting out and not doing a sign and trade.
They were completely and utterly supportive of him the whole fucking time he was in the bubble, Ray. They could have told him to stay in the fucking bubble when he hurt his fucking ankle. All right?
You're an idiot.
They could have told him to stay in the fucking bubble
I'm an idiot.
when he
It's a
hurt his
conspiracy
fucking
theory.
ankle.
I said it was my conspiracy
It's a
theory.
terrible theory.
You're fucking
Danny
stupid.
Ainge cradled the balls of the biggest douchebag on the planet that is Kyrie Irving to get him to stay. He could have done anything he wanted. You think he's going to tell Gordon Hayward to go back to the bubble on a half a leg when he
Who
couldn't
does
even?
Norman ass Doc with?
Come on.
I'm not telling him to go back. I'm saying he was pissed that he couldn't go see the birth of
No,
his child.
he could have. He could have left at any
He
time.
could have done anything he wanted to.
They let him go home in the bubble. Don't forget that. Don't fucking forget that. They let him go home. They could have kept him in the bubble, the fucking rehab. They said, go home, come back, pass the fucking test. Fuck you. He played hurt in the playoffs.
The lead has been.
Wait, Bill. I know you've never been around for any of the birth of your children, but Rich and I have. It's a beautiful moment, no matter what. If it's your first, second, third,
They
fourth.
let him go home.
He missed that. He'll never be able to do that ever again. So maybe
I don't.
he's
Who gives
spiteful.
a shit? You
Obviously
assholes
you
told
don't.
them to not
They're
leave the bubble to
Midwestern
have his
folk,
kid.
Ray. They're gonna have 6 more kids. They're gonna Philip Rivers, this motherfucker.
Oh God,
Look,
you beat me to it.
You're missing the goddamn
Antonio
point.
Cromartie.
Good one, Bill. We've buried the headline. This is not a Gordon Hayward decision. This is a Robin Hayward decision. That's and
You can't say that. You can say she's
Bill.
acting like.
I
You
got.
can say Robin Hayward is a.
I gotta beep the end of all this fucking shit.
I thought I could stretch it out like who? That's what you said.
That's also
You
why.
didn't say that. You had one of these meetings. You said if you stretch it out, it's fine.
You stretch it out.
You didn't stretch it out long enough. You got to go like this.
Shut
Bill. You gotta
up.
go- you gotta go,
This
Robin.
That's the reason that Gordon Hayward is snip snap on these decisions because he's got his wife in charge. And they can't make that fucking
just
thing.
trashing him all the
Look
time.
at-
Maybe we're driving him out.
Yeah, I'm sure Gordon Hayward listens to this show. Actually, he texts me on a regular basis. We have to move on. We're running out of time. The Patriots have a game this Sunday, and
Who?
surprisingly enough, there are playoff implications. Bill, don't let him get on a roll. Don't let him get hot, baby. Don't
They're
let him get
finishing
hot.
9-0.
All right.
They're running the sheet. Let's go.
Here's the deal. Here's what I want to know from you, and I don't want to hear from Bill right now. I want to hear from Ray.
Yes.
How much actual faith, and try and take your cami pajamas off for this, or don't. Just give me your full homer take. Give me 100% if you want. How much actual faith do you have in this New England Patriots team as constituted to go into Houston and do what they're supposed to do and do it as effectively as they're supposed to do it and win the game like they should? What's your percentage of faith that they can do that?
I know you asked me, but I'm gonna answer for Bill. 100%, baby. 100%. They're gonna go down to Houston and they're gonna roll because you know why? This team's getting hot, and if this team gets hot, watch out, baby, because here we come.
I hate that. Bill, go.
I believe definitely that you can play the game you need to play, and especially on offense because Houston has the 32nd ranked rushing defense in the league. You could run all over them, and you're a running offense right now. You're a power running offense with Damian Harris. You're going to mix in a lot of Rex Burkhead and then obviously Cam running. I expect him to roll in this game. It should be 7 to 10 point game. Honestly, especially if the team you saw in Baltimore on offense, again, you're facing a worse defense than you did in Baltimore, and you ran up and down the field for over 170 yards against Baltimore. I expect them to put 200 yards rushing on Houston this weekend, and you're going to keep Deshaun Watson off the field and his bum-ass wide receivers.
Yep. Sure, baby. You're both wrong. It's not going to be a roll because the Patriots haven't rolled anybody because they don't have the roster to roll anybody. It's going to be a close game. It's going to be a close game the entire way through, and you hope that Deshaun Watson and his run around the fucking pocket and get sacked in an opportune time loses that game, and that's what's going to happen because that's how the Texans lose. Patriots aren't going to roll. Patriots are going to roll over anybody for the entire season. They're going to roll.
Right.
They don't have the tools to roll. Who's going to roll?
Hold on. Over under. They win by 8. What are you taking under?
That's what an over-under bet is, Bill. We have a betting show, entire show for just betting, and you want to classify over/under 8.5. You want to call it a spread? Do you want to call it points?
I'm just trying to think of a bet we could do because me and Ray think they're going to win by more than a touchdown.
Okay, call it 10. Call it 10. You got to bet. Let's see where your faith is there, Bill.
I mean, I said they were going to win by 7 or 10. I'll take a 10.
Fine, $50.
All right, cool.
Ledger.
In.
You got it. They're not going to win by 10. They don't have the fucking skills to win by 10. They don't have it. What are they going to win, 24-14?
That's a push.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen. So let me ask you this. Can we expect more out of the wide receivers? Can we get more?
What's the spread on this game?
Over the last 3 years, shut up, Bill. Over the last three games, Jacoby Myers has literally been your only wide receiver on the field. So can we expect anything out of Harry, Bird, the new kid, Isaiah Ford? We know Edelman's not back yet, but if this team does make a run and they are in playoff contention, do we expect Edelman back? Does that make a difference? Can we expect more of the wide receivers, and do they need it in order to compete? Judging by what you just said, that they're going to roll with no
I think they're going to win by a touchdown.
Answer my wide receiver question.
Touchdowns only 7, you idiot.
He just gave away $50. I'd like you to answer my fucking wide receiver question.
No, I don't want to.
Okay, right.
Yes,
Can they get more?
Yes, because they're in a dome this week, so that's no weather is going to be a factor for Cam. The Houston Texans secondary is putrid, as Bill would say. So this is your opportune time to test it out, see what happens. Start throwing to Bird, start throwing to Harry, start throwing to Ford, see what happens. See if these guys can actually catch the ball. Because if you're moving forward, you're not going to win games just throwing to Jacoby Myers. So you have to get these other guys in the offense and start throwing and making catches with these guys.
I would say mix in some tight ends, but you don't have any. So
I'd like to see Ford in the slot. I'd like to see Harry used back in those big slants. And Damiere Byrd has shown up on the outside hook routes. Keep doing that. And just utilize them. I think if they can effectively start to utilize them regularly, then you might have something that formulates into somewhat of a passing offense. Then again, you have to rely on Cam Newton and his 400-yard roundabout hitch to throw the ball. All right, boys, we're getting towards the end here. Very quickly, how about the defensive side of the ball and the young guys? Uche, Winovich, Duggar, Jennings, Esteres, Hall kid. Do we expect the same out of them, or is that a single-game effort, Bill?
Seemed like a single-game effort.
Yeah.
But, I mean, you might see Hall spy Watson, kind of what he did with Lamar. Even though Lamar had 55 yards, he's more of a running quarterback, but you still got to contain Watson in the pocket. So you might see a similar approach, put a bunch of DBs on the field, see if you can do that way. They still have a little bit Will Fuller, Randall Cobb, so you might see the same defense, honestly. So you might see the same thing. Winovich, I expect him to play the whole game.
Himself out of it again.
Yeah, I did.
I'd like to see Winovich, Duggar, and Uche in there as many snaps as possible. Those are your young guys. You have to lean on those guys. That's how you're going to be moving forward. Lastly, 30 seconds left. Fight Guy Ray, Fight Guy Bill. McGregor signs on officially for Poirier. Is that how you pronounce that? Any
Poirier.
thoughts? You looking forward to this fight, or is McGregor a dead horse at this point?
Oh, no, he's gonna fucking.
I'm going to Queen's Landing to watch this. I'm going to Queen's Landing to watch this.
Oh yeah, he should roll on Poirier and it
Bring
sets
your
up a
EpiPen,
Khabib
right?
rematch. It sets up a Khabib rematch. This is what that fight does. Think of that.
Okay. All
That'll
right.
be
This is the end of the
biggest
show.
pay-per-view ever.
Thank you, Bill. This has been the Simple Mind Sports Show. Friday headlines, November 20th. We'll see you on Sunday for Sunday Social Hour. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bring your first aid kit, Ray.
Of course, always.
I'll Billy Badwing at that point. Real
I know.
bad.